Good evening, everyone. We'll get started in a few minutes, but I wanted to say hello. It's Emily from Fit Moms for Life.
And we got Dustin, and yeah, it's great to have you guys on, and we'll be starting soon. I'm really excited to be sharing a little bit more about what it looks like to be a Fit Moms for Life leader, and just kind of everything that entails, and really telling some stories of some women who have taken the step over the past few months, years, and kind of what's happened through that, and some really cool stories. You're going to get to also meet a few of the ladies as well as they share with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, we'll get started in just a few minutes as people are logging on. And just to go over some logistics, you should all be muted. You should be in listen-only mode except for the other couple presenters. So you guys just mute your lines for now. But you should see a chat box in the right-hand side. Please use that. Ask questions at any time. Give comments. We're going to try to monitor that and respond as best we can. And we'll have a Q&A session at the end. But don't wait. Put your questions in. And also, if you are hearing feedback or have any audio problems on the webinar, please put that in the chat. That should come through to us even if you're having trouble with audio or visual. You can also try logging out and logging back on. So we'll give it just a minute to get started. Look forward to talking to you all. Hang on. I'm going to get my screen sharing going too. All right, so I'm seeing people log on, and you should be now seeing my screen, the beginning of our presentation. So again, I'm going to give it probably 30 seconds and we'll get started. I see people logging on right now. Great. Hopefully, chat in and welcome yourself. Let us know you're here, where you're calling in from as we get going. So tonight, really, we are here to talk about what it means to be a Fit Moms for Life leader. And as Dustin said, you're going to get the joy of hearing from a couple of our leaders directly, which will be awesome. But we're really here to talk about the power of one. We believe that each of us has the ability to create really a ripple effect in other people's lives, and that by changing one person's life in even a small way, that we can touch the lives of many others. And that is, that's really a core belief of ours. And that belief, in addition to our desire to really empower women to live happier, healthier, more connected lives, that's at the very core of our program. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But for right now, I want you to close your eyes and just take a minute and imagine a woman. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you at some point in your life, or a friend, someone someone who's sitting on the sidelines. Maybe has sat on the sidelines for much of her life, maybe watching while her children play, always being behind the camera instead of in front of it. Maybe not so comfortable in her skin, maybe waiting till, she loses a few pounds or gets in better shape or whatever before joining in, says no to opportunities to go out because doesn't want to face the fear of discomfort of being out. Always thinking, I can't do that. So imagine how that would feel. But then take a moment and imagine how it would be for you or for that person in your mind's eye to feel differently about herself, to be confident, joyous, playful, like to get down on the floor with her kids and crawl through their blanket fort, to wear a swimsuit and play in the waves of the beach like nobody's watching, to say yes to invitations and activities, to stop sitting on the sidelines while life passes by, and to engage and live for the very first time, maybe. It's a totally life-changing transformation in every sense. And then imagine that you are the catalyst that allows that person to feel differently about herself. How that would feel to enable somebody to start living life and think of all the lives that could be touched because of her changes. You know, maybe her family gets healthier and starts eating better or getting more active. Her kids get healthier. Maybe her friends are inspired and think about doing something themselves. Maybe her marriage improves. Maybe she's able to contribute more at work, you know, or as a volunteer. And that's the thing, like your one decision to take a chance and lead and maybe be that catalyst could touch more people than you would ever know, changing their lives for the better. And there's absolutely no greater reward. So you can open your eyes. I mean, I just want to say, I mean, those types of transformations are real. Like they do happen. I've led 4, maybe 5, 6-week challenge groups through Fit Moms for Life. And I've seen it happen in every single group I've led. Maybe not every person, but it always happens. And that ripple effect is totally real. And that is the power of one. We're going to talk about more about that tonight and about how that can happen and what it looks like to be a leader. You know, we'll get to all those nuts and bolts I'm sure you're wondering about, but I really want to give you a little more context as to why we're doing what we're doing. So like I said, we want to empower women to live happier, healthier, more connected lives, but I think it's getting harder and harder to do that in this country. Unfortunately, we live in this totally sick, unhealthy nation where childhood obesity is skyrocketing. 1 in 3 kids and 2 out of 3 adults are overweight or obese. You know, and fast food and processed food makes it easy and convenient to eat, but it's not healthy. And so many of those foods are even designed to be addictive because the manufacturers care more about their bottom line than they do about our health. And so as a result, you know, we're getting sick, unhealthy, and it just makes us feel terrible about ourselves. At the same time that that's going on, we're, I think, more than ever before bombarded with images. And this just irritates the heck out of me. Images about what we as women should look like. You know, and they make all these solutions sound easy. It took me about 30 seconds to find these images from magazines that are out there now. And here's some of the headlines. Drop 5 pounds while dieting. You know, lose 2 sizes in 4 weeks. Get a belly like this in 4 moves. Lose your belly in 2 weeks. And my favorite, eat more, weigh less. You know? But these solutions, you know, they're lies, right? Nothing more than false promises, and they never work, at least not for long. And that combination makes us sick, overweight, maybe even weighing more than when we started that fad diet, and feeling terrible. And women who have participated in our program say they feel like a bad mom, a failure, a poor role model for their kids. And they just lack the confidence that anything will change. And so we are here because we believe that there is a much, much better way. We know there's a better way, and a way to make changes that matter, you know, for life, a way to feel better physically and emotionally, a way to feel good about who you are and what you can do. So, I mean, in my view, I want to rebel against the diet and fitness industry that I think is totally keeping women in the shackles of self-loathing. And we want to empower as many people as possible to have a better solution to help them and their families. So our totally audacious goal is to reach 1 million moms and to start 14,000 local Fit Moms for Life groups. That is 1 for every McDonald's in the US, because we believe that it ought to be as easy and convenient and affordable to get healthy as it is to get fast food in our society. And just a quick break. If you are a fellow presenter, please mute your line if you would. So Tanya, if that's you, let me see if I can. Awesome. Welcome. And I've got it. Thanks. So back to where we're going. So we are really excited about this. This is not a small deal at all, but we will get there. We believe it. And, you know, we really have to. So let me tell you a little bit. We'll introduce ourselves here next. And we're going to talk a little bit about who our leaders are and what these groups look like too. So my name again is Emily Green, and that's me on the right with my 2 boys, Corey and Ben. And we have a great time together. My oldest has autism, and that's been kind of a journey for us. But I have to say that staying sane with Fit Moms for Life has given me infinitely more patience and strength to deal with that. And that's also me this morning on the in our workout on the bottom there. we were doing handstands, which I am just shy of my 45th birthday, and I never believed I'd be doing handstands at this age, but I can tell you I'm stronger now than when I was 20, so it's a good thing. Anyway, and Dustin.
Yeah, so this is Dustin, and this is kind of bittersweet for me. I've done a lot of webinars and a lot of presentations live and online, and this is my first one I'm giving without my mom anymore. So some of you guys know, some of you probably don't know my story, but it's a picture of my mom there on the left, and about 2 months ago now, July 10th, received the call we never want to hear, which mom is in the ICU unit, and she had a brain aneurysm, not expected to live. So not a fun time. My mom was pretty much the healthiest woman I've ever met, and she just exuded what Fit Moms for Life is all about, and was really my inspiration for starting the program. So it's kind of weird to be, now doing this without her around, but that picture in particular, it's probably one of my favorite memories of her. And we're going up a 14,000 foot mountain in Colorado, and it's called a 14er. And this was way past my mom's level of desire, and probably in fitness level. Like I said, she was very healthy, but she didn't quite exercise as much as I would have liked her to. But she pushed on. I've never seen her physically push as hard as she did, and she only did it because us 4 kids were doing it and my dad. So it's one of my fondest memories of us together. But really, I'm the most, I'm passionate about helping moms, like Emily said, fulfill this mission, create local support groups. I think that that's the missing piece kind of in our society today, is we're more connected than ever through Facebook and other social media, but we're not developing those deep, authentic relationships. And once you can have a few friends, it doesn't have to be 10, 20, 30, 100 friends that you're accountable to, that you share life with, but you do it in a healthy way, focusing on being active together, trying to eat healthy, and just kind of helping each other out go through life. I think that's really the power of it, and that's what I get most excited about. Far more excited than teaching you how to squat or how to do a push-up. Those things are great, but it's really about connecting with others. And so, so I'm going to be sharing a few stories here in a little bit of women who have become leaders and really have created a community for themselves. So so it's a nice transition. We're going to go right into our first leader, and we're going to unmute Tanya here. And Tanya, it's pretty cool because I was just in Minnesota with her and her group a couple days ago, and I was supposed to do a big Fit Mom for Life rally the morning of my mom's passing, so it just was bad timing, and so we didn't do it. I didn't do it, at least. I think they may have still done it. And over the course of, I don't know, probably 5-6 months, Tanya has led a couple different groups. But I went to her house, and we had about 15 Fit Mom for Lifers. Some are brand new. Some had already been coming for a while. And we did a workout together in her yard, and that was pretty fun. And then we talked about nutrition, just the challenges we all face. And then we ate together, which was a blast too. But the coolest part for me was I had everyone go around and just share kind of what their goal was if they're just starting off. But for the women who had been there for a while, kind of what their biggest accomplishment was. And it was just so cool to hear all these women sharing about their breakthroughs they've had. And some of my favorite testimonials are the ones who, women who say, I've never been into exercise before. I've hated it. I hated gym class. And this is the first thing I've stuck with. This is the first thing I actually enjoy. And if I don't get a workout in, I actually miss it. And those are some of the things that were coming out of the ladies' mouths. And then what was really cool to hear was from Tanya's husband. And Tanya's husband was there, and he shared just kind of how he's been really amazed and impressed by Tanya. I don't know the exact words that he said, but basically stepping out and becoming more of a leader and having more confidence. And he was just so proud of her. So I'm really excited to have Tanya on tonight. So Tanya, why don't you just briefly introduce yourself, and then I'm going to just kind of interview you a little bit here.
Tanya, we can't hear you yet. Unmute yourself. There you go.
All right, how's that? Okay.
There, that's okay.
Technology 101 here for me, sorry.
That's okay.
My name is Tanya, and I live in Monticello. I guess I was kind of familiar with the program before I actually became a leader, but I I've been a leader since April, and I'm having a time of my life actually with it. And I'm married. I just celebrated 19 years, and I have 2 children. My son is 18 and my daughter is 16. So yeah, it's all sorts of fun.
That's awesome. So Tanya, why don't you share, I'll start with the big question, we'll kind of hone it in, but a couple of maybe the coolest stories, maybe from your participants that you've brought in, whether it's a transformation or something that's happened. Why don't you just share a story or two?
I think my most favorite one is probably, I have 2 ladies that are in their 60s, and one was not able to do a burpee at all, not even stepping it out. And after the 6-week challenge, she is now able to actually do a burst burpee where she actually gets the jump in and the whole 9 yards. And my other lady, just last night at her class, she told me 2 weeks ago she was not able to do a squat bent over to pick something off the floor. She had to hold on to something to pick it up, and now she just does it without any issues. And she calls it our I think she said on Saturday, Grandma P90X or something like that is what we're doing.
Yeah. And I know you've had a few that have lost significant amounts of weight too. You had some before and after pictures there that were pretty impressive.
Yep. I have one who was in chronic pain when we started in April, and now she is totally pain-free, unless she skips a day or 2 of working out, and then she kind of gets a little bit of a pain. And then I got one that I think to date she's about 25, if not over, pounds, and one that's about 20. And I can't remember the inches, but the inches are pretty close to their pounds.
Yeah. And now, Tanya, you weren't a certified trainer. You weren't a fitness expert by any means when you started the program. I think a lot of people think that they need to have all this knowledge before running it. But why don't you just explain kind of, how you started to lead the group? And I'm sure there was still fears and stuff, coming into it, but just kind of share what that process was like.
For sure. I don't have a certification. It is on my bucket list maybe someday to do. And that was the beauty of this program, is I wanted to pay it forward somehow. But, I don't really have a whole lot extra time to do online classes and to get certified. And from a little bit of experience or research, it is a little spendy. So just to do it as a hobby, I don't see the reasoning behind it. But to lead the classes and to hear and see the transformations from the other ladies is amazing. And to have them come up to me and say, I am changing many women's lives, is very heartwarming. And yeah, it's just kind of gratifying, I think. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah. I am totally outside my comfort zone. Totally. I do not like talking in front of people. Even when I was doing the house party just a couple weeks ago to start my second group, I was like pacing the floor and whatever else. And I said, I'm nervous as all heck, and whatever. I don't like talking in front of a bunch of people. And they're like, oh, you're handling yourself with breeze, you're doing just fine. And I was like, okay. Yeah, so it's totally outside my comfort zone, but I love it.
Yeah, I mean, the women just speak so highly, and they're so thankful for you for stepping up and facilitating and being a leader so that you can provide these women, because they could get this program on their own and do it on their own, and for a few it would work. But again, the secret sauce of it is getting together on a regular basis. And it was really cool. We had those women from St. Cloud come down. Yeah. They just kind of randomly, one woman, she found my book at the library and investigated and got the 6-week challenge, but didn't really do anything with it because she wanted to find a group, and here you were. So she's just so excited now to be part of it. And we've had a few sessions with her already.
Yes, and she adds so much input to our classes that I can kind of foresee her after the 6 weeks taking the reins and setting something up in St. Cloud.
Awesome.
I can see good stuff for her.
Great. So we've talked a little bit about kind of the successes and stuff. Why don't you just share, we don't have to go into huge details, but just kind of like what it was like getting your first group started, because that can be, a challenge to do, and we try to help you along the way there, but just kind of explain what was kind of involved in it.
I just sent out like a Facebook message just to a small group of people just to kind of get the feel if this was something that people would be interested in doing or if it was just me and my craziness. And then, you know, my phone was going off, was beeping out just crazy because people were totally interested. We met at our local church and I kind of explained the program. I showed the house video. And right afterwards, without even saying anything else, people's like, okay, what do I need to do to sign up?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't really think I did a whole lot. I just told them a little bit about my story, my background on how I got involved in exercising and fitness and whatever else. And they're like, sign me up.
Yeah. Yeah, and the beauty of it is that you share your story. You know, that's really the only thing you need to share. And then we've developed kind of this informational session party, we call it, where we show a video. You know, just pop in a video, and it really, you know, sells itself between your passion and excitement, enthusiasm, and kind of the way we've structured it. You know, for the most part, if you get people in there, I would say at least 80% will join when you do that. So that was great that you did that. And then last, I think it's the last question for you. What's been the process like, you know, from a weekly basis? You know, you meet, I think, once a week, I assume.
Yeah. Yep.
And kind of, you know, it's about a 90-minute meeting, but kind of what's involved on a weekly basis?
We meet at like 6 o'clock at night, and the first thing we kind of do is, you know, we just kind of chit chat, get caught up from the week and different things while we're getting our area set up. And then before we kind of do a workout, I go around and I ask everyone what their highs and lows were for the week. And then we discuss that a little bit, and then we throw in the video to do the workout. And then afterwards, we do the teaching segment, and then whichever one of the stories, and then we just have more discussion after that. But it's pretty, I mean, it's laid out step by step in the leadership guide on how to do the class. So.
Yeah, and that's an important point. I teach via the video, so all you really have to do is press play and then facilitate discussion. And we even have sample discussion questions that you can use, or you can go off on your own. But we have kind of everything laid out, so you don't have to lead a workout. You can just, again, put the video in. You guys can all work out together. And then the teaching segments, we've already got, you know, videoed out, and you just got to push play on that. So great. Okay, so last question. I lied. So kind of the last thing, you know, is when people watching this who, whether they don't think they have enough time, or they're not smart enough, or they're not in a good enough shape, or they don't know enough people, you know, they've got a lot of reasons why they might not want to be a leader. You know, what would you say to that?
Just put one foot in front of the other and take a deep breath. And if you have a husband or whatever that's very supportive, lean on him and just, yeah, you can do it. I mean, I always say if I can do it, pretty much anybody can do it, because yeah, I like to be behind the scenes. I don't like to be in front.
Yeah. That's what your husband said. He's like, you like to be behind the scenes, but he said, I've just seen her become such a confident person in front, and he was just so proud.
And I've noticed that in myself a little bit too, as you know, the more that we've been meeting and different things, is I can see that I'm starting to become a little bit more confident. So yeah, the sky's the limit for us.
That's awesome, Tanya. Well, Tanya, thanks so much for all your support, and it was so cool getting to see you guys at your place, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Yes, that's all they kept talking about
everyone
on
wants
Tuesday.
to come next time, so.
For sure, the more the merrier, because everyone's like, oh, he was so, one of the girls said that they were starstruck, so.
I'm just me, and we got to push a big truck. That was fun.
Yes, that was the highlight. Yep. We kind of, you know, talked a little bit about what was the highlight of the boot camp, what everyone enjoyed the most, and surprisingly, everyone said the truck.
The truck, yeah, it's a very memorable thing. So, well, cool. You guys always have a truck there, so you can push that whenever you want to.
Yes. Yep. For sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
It was very fun.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks so much, Tanya, for your support, and we'll continue on with the rest of our webinar.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks.
Thanks, Tanya.
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to, I hope it looks like we might have lost, the next group we were going to talk about was Andrea. And I think we might have lost her on the line.
She was on for a while, I know.
I know.
So I'll talk about it, and maybe she gets back on, maybe she doesn't. But Andrea is also in the Twin Cities. We have leaders all over the country, but these just happen to be two that are near Minneapolis. And Andrea has been doing her groups for, I think it's been a year and a half. I could be a little bit off on that. But, you know, she's done a few different groups, and I think, I don't even know how many people she's had total, but it's many dozens, I think, at this point. And she's got two other friends, and they've all become leaders, and they all have their own groups, which has been really fun to see. So in between all of them, they've had over 50 participants, you know, doing it. And it's just been really, really neat to, again, watch these women, they're moms with busy careers, who are still making time to do this. And if I had her on the line, I would be able to kind of, you know, interview her and ask her kind of some specifics on that. And what we can maybe do is go to the next one, and I can just talk about that. And then if she comes back on, maybe we can interview her. So this is Diana, and she's in Neillsville, Wisconsin, which, if you haven't heard of it, you're not alone. It's a very small little town. And she was actually one of our first, she was the first leader, I think. Or if not the first, one of the first. And she basically took it upon herself. We had another, you know, Fit Mom for Life DVD program. It was a monthly DVD program that we started, I think, 6 years ago now. And she started doing it and lost a tremendous amount of weight. I think she lost like 40 pounds and was in the best shape of her life in her 40s, and had more confidence and just everything that Tanya was talking about. And she decided to pay it forward. People were asking her, what are you doing? And she was in such a small town that there was very few options for her, for people in the town to exercise. And so she just started getting people together. She reached out to me and said, hey, I'd like to start a group. And I think this was all before we actually had this program started, this 6-week challenge. So we didn't even have the curriculum built out. We didn't have the teaching segments. And so she really just winged it for a while. And she just has an incredible group. And for those of you guys who have already done the 6-week program, you may have seen her in my documentary. That's part of the program. And we did a story, and we're going to send you guys a link to watch her story here. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's one thing we're going to send you right after tonight is over, so you can watch. It's about 12 minutes long. And some of you guys are saying you're still seeing Tanya. Let's see if we can switch it over to I don't know. Can you guys, who do you see right now? Do you see the slides or the, let me know. And Tanya, you can let me know too. Do you guys see the slide or Tanya?
Justin, I can see the slide.
You can see
and
the
myself
slide?
in the corner, but.
Okay. Let's see.
Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah, thanks, Tanya. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll keep going with it for now. So, well, hopefully you guys can see the slide with Diana and everything there. But just another great example. She's been now doing, I think, for 3 or 4 years. She got certified as a trainer, so she kind of took that next step that Tanya's thinking about. And okay, it looks like it's back to the slides. Some are saying back to the slides. Some are saying Tanya. The slides now. Okay, now the slides. All right, great. All right, we're good now. Yeah, so Diana's another great example, and now she, I don't know if she fully quit her job. I have to try to remember, but she's either fully quit her job that she was doing as now a full-time trainer, or she's a part-time trainer, and just really has had a totally transformation in her life and a career change. And again, just like Tanya's husband, her husband is so proud of her really stepping out, and he was actually kind of skeptical of the program when he started, but now he's the biggest believer and biggest fan of it too. So that's Diana. Anyways, do we have her on yet or not?
I do not think we have Andrea on yet, so we can.
Okay, we can continue on. So I've got to get going here. So if Andrea does get back on, maybe you can just ask her a few questions and share. But again, they're doing great things in the Twin Cities area, and just another really good example. And so as Emily kind of finishes the webinar up here, she's going to kind of give you some details on more specifics about the program. But again, I can't recommend it enough. It's a very, very small investment, and you actually get paid as you recruit people too. You're not going to get rich off this. This is not a multi-level marketing, selling supplements or anything like that, but just a little bit of extra cash for kind of your time. But like Tanya talked about tonight, you know, you're getting a lot of value in other ways. Not only are you staying more accountable for yourself because you're there and you don't want to let your team members down, your community down, but you're getting to see these lives, transformed, and it's all because of you stepping up and leading the group. And so that, I think, is a really cool part of it. So anyways, thanks you guys for being on and letting me share my heart a little bit here. And Emily's going to finish up. And if you have any questions, she'll be able to answer them at the end. So take care. And hopefully, if I have not met you before, I hope to meet you someday. Take care.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I am going to move back to the slides and we'll finish walking through, because I know you guys probably we wanted to tell you some of the story about some of these groups, but I also want to make sure I give you the details of sort of how this works. So like we talked about a little bit, we created, like Dustin just talked about, and we really tried to take the best of what worked here locally and wrap it into a comprehensive 6-week challenge program. It's a program that works, but it also provides a structure that makes it easy for you to follow as a group. And we actually built it from the ground up to be done in small groups without a professional trainer. And I think that's, again, the key difference between this program and many others. Is designed to be led by a mom, by a woman, just like you or me. And so it's also unique in that it focuses not just on exercise or even eating, but it also has a lot on mindset and a lot on how to build a safe and supportive community. So those 4 pieces really are what we consider the key pillars of success to any program. And a lot of times, most of the time really, one or more of those are missing. And so that is, in essence, that's the program. And then it was our mission to really find women who wanted to change other lives while changing their own and equip them with the tools they needed to succeed. So we provide a ton of support to our leaders. Sort of, both Tanya and Dustin alluded to a little bit, but in terms of having a leader's guide that lays it all out, and leaders DVDs and leaders videos that make it so you don't actually have to present any of the content. We provide the content. You just facilitate the group by bringing people together and really helping, help get people talking. And when you get a room full of women together, it's not usually that hard to do. And so we try to make it fun, and rewarding. Really, anyone can do this. These are some of our current leaders. This picture at the top left, I love. This was one of the most rewarding weekends I've ever spent, sort of professional or not. We had a leaders retreat last summer where we brought together about 25 of our leaders came. Andrea was there. This was before, Tanya, before you were a leader, but and we had just this incredible, emotional, moving, empowering weekend of getting together and sharing, sort of a lot of learning, and also sharing best practices and figuring out how we can do more. But, our leaders come from all over, all ages, all, shapes and sizes. It's really anybody can lead, and it's just an incredibly, incredibly empowering experience. So what does it look like specifically to be a leader? One of the things you do, really your role is to invite people to join you. As Tanya said, she put it out on Facebook. Many of our leaders do that. You can also, maybe you have specific idea of specific people who you think might be interested. We have a kind of some videos and materials that you can use to hold like a house party if you want at your house or somewhere else, so that people can learn more. And again, it's Dustin in the videos sort of talking about the program, explaining what it is and what it isn't, so that you don't have to do that. You get a special link so that people sign up through your program, through your affiliate link, and then we end up paying you $35 a participant. The meetings themselves are, an hour to an hour and a half, depending. And as Tanya said, you generally work out, watch a quick teaching segment we have, and then have some discussion. And keeping the group on schedule and keeping things going is your major role. So I've had Renee is asking to speak. So Renee, I will get you on shortly. Let me just go through a couple of these things first. So that's kind of the basics of being a leader. And in terms of the benefits, Dustin sort of said this, one of the best things about it is, I mean, you are doing the program with your participants and it totally holds you more accountable, because obviously you're kind of, you know, you're setting the path. The other people are watching you. So you end up being more successful yourself, I think. You make some incredible relationships and you have a lot of access. So you will get invitations to leader-only events on occasion, like the retreat that we did, which was just amazing. We've also done some leader-only webinars. It kind of depends on what's going on, but we try to offer those opportunities. Leaders are always the first people to know when we have new things coming out. And you have, you know, we try to give you a lot of support, so you have absolutely, you know, one-on-one access to me. You can call me or email me, but I try to support leaders, you know, and do everything I can to make your job easy. And so most of all, it's a ton of fun. And it really, there's no other experience quite like it. In terms of what's included in the program, so these things at the top here are all in the participant kit. The leader kit adds, we give you a specific, you know, all those things that are in the 6-week challenge participant kit. So it comes with workouts, it comes with a guidebook and a journal. And I know some of you have actually gone through the 6-week challenge. Dustin's book. We deliver all of this through our private members only site. We have a private leaders Facebook group as well, and a participant Facebook group. So we give you, in addition to those things, a leaders guide that, again, it lays out the program and sort of the agenda for each meeting right there for you. A leaders DVD that has all of the weekly teaching segments on it. Some training webinars with Dustin, and again, one-on-one support from our team and access to the other leaders. So it's quite a lot of resources you're getting. I think I'm going to put Renee on if I can, because again, we had a request to speak. So Renee, I'm trying to get you on now, and we'll see. I don't know if you have a question or a comment, but hopefully you're getting on. So I want to show you actually real quick while Renee is hopping on. I sort of skipped over. This is actually a screenshot from our membership area. And again, you can see, if you're not familiar with the 6-week challenge itself, it is broken into these 6 weeks. And each week there is in addition to the workouts, there's a teaching segment where Dustin is diving deep into either mindset, nutrition, fitness, or community. And then there's a story. So an inspirational segment about one of our leaders or one of our participants. And the combination of this package, I mean, by the end of the 6 weeks, participants have a very, very solid foundation of what it takes to move forward and how to keep these changes going for life. And that's what it's really designed to do. So I wanted to just share that. And then there's a separate leaders only area that comes with the leadership kit. So I'm going to keep going. So if you were to do all these things separately, I mean, this program would add up to maybe $335, you know, for each of, if we actually charge what each of these pieces kind of cost us to develop and produce. But one of our driving missions, and this really comes from Dustin. He grew up in a trailer. You've probably heard that story if you've been on his email list for a while, but and really money was tight. And so he felt very, very strongly that we needed to make this program affordable for anyone. And so we made both the participants kit, you know, at $47 or $99, depending on which digital or hard copy version you buy. And then the leader kit is just $129. But for you guys, if any of you want to join tonight, we are going to give you an additional $30 off that leader kit. So it's only tonight. And there's the website. I'm also going to put an offer hopefully into your screen. So if you're not a leader now and are interested in joining, we would love to have you join us and take advantage of it this way, because this will give you that $99 discount. And we hope to have many of you join us because it is just an amazing program. And in terms of what that sends you, it'll be, again, the leaders DVDs, the participant DVDs, the participant guide, the leader guide, Dustin's book, a leader t-shirt, which is way better looking than that, and access to leader events and our online members area. So that's the complete program. Those are sort of the nuts and bolts in terms of what it looks like and how it works. I'd love to see if you guys have questions or thoughts. Please weigh in now, weigh in the chat as I keep going. You've heard directly, I really appreciate Tanya being on. This is a quote from one of our other leaders in North Dakota. Kim is one of our other early groups. And for her, it was, again, the process of being the leader sort of forced her to, or caused her really to step up and be the best person that she could be, and to gain confidence, to gain passion to learn more. And that group has now been going for 4.5 years now. And so it's again, just another awesome experience. Kay is asking, do you have a way to buy just the leader package? Absolutely, we do. I can send that link separately. If you are already a Fit Moms for Life participant, it is just $29 to upgrade to be a leader and to get the t-shirt and all the leader materials. So if you've already bought the 6-week challenge kit, I will put that, I can send you that link, and you can upgrade to be just a leader for $29. And if I can figure out how to put the link right here, I will do that. And then just to close, I wanted to share with you, I'm gonna get off of the screen share to see if you guys have other questions, but I just wanted to share, this is one of Dustin's favorite sayings in terms of life rules. If you do not go after what you want, you'll never have it. If you don't ask, the answer will always be no. And if you do not step forward, you'll always be in the same place. So it's one of the things I think is really true. And it's, again, something to remember when you're thinking about stepping out of your comfort zone. All right, let me stop the screen share. And all right, I am back. Renee, I see that you are on.
Oh, it has a picture.
Yes.
I was like, ah! There's my head.
Welcome.
Hi. Had to reload it twice.
Sorry about that. Happy to have you.
So, I really
did you have a question, or did you want to?
Can you hear me okay?
Sure can. Yep.
Okay, well, I missed half the webinar.
No worries.
I guess my question is, so you get people together to do the workouts, and then are we leading them, or is there like a DVD they're watching?
Yeah, there's a DVD. So we provide all of the content. We provide the pre-recorded workouts, pre-recorded teaching segments that sort of go and dive into detail on the 4 main pillars of our program. So fitness, nutrition, mindset, and community. And then your job as a leader is really to convene people and to have kind of a facilitated discussion, a little bit of discussion after the sort of people watch the videos. There's also inspirational story for each week. We even give you we give you a minute-by-minute agenda of the meeting if you want to use that. We give you sample discussion questions. Again, you don't have to use those things, but many women find them really helpful, so that you're not having to recreate all that stuff. But again, you can use it as a guide. You can develop your own. But your role as a leader is really to facilitate people getting together and doing the program together, and you can do it right along with them.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I live out here in Colorado, so I was like, oh, that would be kind of a cool thing to start.
Absolutely. Well, welcome. We'd love to have you. And, if you wanted to watch the front, we had one of our leaders from Minnesota on live, and then Dustin talked about a couple of our other groups. So that would give you you can absolutely watch the recording. That would give you a great picture of what it's like to lead. But seriously, one of the most rewarding experiences you can have. So,
How much space do they need?
You know, it varies. We've had people do it in a backyard, in a garage, in a basement. It kind of depends on, so you don't need equipment for the group workouts. We provide body weight only workouts for those, and then for the at-home workouts, people are asked to have dumbbells and a ball. But again, they don't have to bring those to the group workouts. So we've had people use churches, school cafeterias. You know, it really runs the gamut. We even had a few people use like yoga studios, and that ends up being kind of a win-win in the sense that the studio gets exposure and get people coming in that maybe wouldn't otherwise walk in the door, you know, and the leader gets use of space. So there's a lot of ways that can work.
Well, that's good. So it's $35 a person, or how much do they pay?
They pay, if they are buying the 6-week challenge kit on digital only, it's $47. If they're buying a hard copy, it's $99, and you get $35 a participant regardless of which version they buy. And that gives them the whole kit for life. And another question that leaders often ask, you can run as many groups as you like over and over again. I mean, you don't have to, you know, re-up every time or anything. You know, you can, I think Tanya is on her 3rd or 4th group now, and we've had a number of leaders run multiple 6-week challenge groups. And I see that Stacy's asked what happens after the 6-week challenge is over if people want to keep going. And so that's a great question. We do have a program called the Fit Moms Monthly Program, and that's delivered all digitally. So it's very similar in the sense that it goes every week is, and Stacy knows this, Stacy's been through this program, but the first week is always mindset, the second is always nutrition, third is fitness, fourth is community. So in terms of the teaching segments, and we give fresh workouts every month. The other thing that comes both with the 6-week challenge and the monthly are meal plans with recipes. So again, people can use that if they'd like, but it makes it easy to eat a healthy whole foods diet. So they get fresh meal plans and recipes and kind of some new reading and thought questions, new journaling questions. So that program, many of our groups, if they want to keep going, just roll into the monthly. And there again, we usually give the monthly access free to the leader. You know, Stacy, we could talk offline because again, I know you've already done it. So if you're interested in doing that, let's touch base. But that is what most of our leaders do in terms of post 6-week challenges. They keep going with the monthly. And Margie, thank you so much for the response to Kay. So Margie's pointing out that yes, there is a button from within the 6-week challenge area of our members only website to upgrade to a leader status if you are a participant now, and that will give you the $29 price. Thank you so much, Margie. I really appreciate that. Renee, did that make sense? Anything else?
I think so. Okay. I'm not used to seeing myself on a camera. I'm like, oh.
No worries. Awesome.
Scary. Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Good enough. Stacy's asking how much is the monthly cost. It is $25 a month for participant to do the monthly, again, with or without a leader.
Okay, and so they just get the online access for that one?
Correct. Yep. And we have had leaders certainly do, and this is actually something that I can provide if people are interested. We've had leaders do lead their own workouts or take pieces of, you know, Diane's example of this. She actually wrote out some of the workouts and then led them herself. That's an option. I have provided workouts to people sometimes who want to add diversity. But again, the formula is really for people to use the ones we've recorded with Dustin, but there are ways, you know, to add things. Other questions coming through in the chat, or people are welcome to opt in. I'm trying to think if there's other frequently asked questions that we get. Many of them have come up here, but yeah, you're welcome, Stacy. Feel free. So I mean, most of you probably have it, but if you respond to any of the webinar emails, or you can find me at emily@fitmomsforlife.com if you want to contact me offline, and if you have additional questions about leading. Again, I'm, really try to be super available sort of personally to help leaders with, we've had, I will say, I guess we've had another couple arrangements. We've had 2 leaders in Minnesota work with their local community ed program, and they are in their 2nd run of this. So they actually got the 6-week challenge published in their local recreation guide as one of the official programs. And so they're running it through their community ed, which works great. Like we are happy to work with you, I guess, in whatever way. We have another leader running it through her church as one of the church kind of sponsored fitness programs, if you will. So there's a lot of ways that it can work. We're really open to things like that. I mean, our primary goal is to get as many of these going as possible, and really to get that sense of community building, because as Dustin said, I mean, that's totally where the magic happens, and where things start to change. So yeah, I would really encourage you to go ahead and jump on this if you're interested. Take advantage of it, because it's an absolutely transformative experience, and it's a lot of fun. Other final questions as we wrap up here? All right. Well, with that, I want to thank you so much for your time. I want to respect your time. My goal is to end at 8:30, and we're just a few minutes short of that, which is great. And I appreciate you joining us tonight. If you have questions, follow up with me afterwards, and I'll send this replay around to everyone who is registered this evening as well. Oh, good question, Kate. Do you have any idea about liability insurance? Yeah, so when you become a leader, well, so first thing, participants, when they join, regardless of whether they're joining through your affiliate link or what, they're still buying from us. So they, there is essentially an agreement that terms and conditions that they accept when they purchase, that say that they're assuming responsibilities for your standard liability language. In addition, there's a liability or a terms and conditions that you sign as a leader when you buy that you accept. You'll see it on the order form. You actually have to say, yes, I accept the terms and conditions. And what those say is that you are operating as a contractor of Dustin Maher Fitness, LLC. So that what that means is the liability fundamentally is on us, on Fit Moms for Life, on Dustin Maher Fitness, for what goes on in our groups, as long as you are following the general guideline of the group. So you're not doing anything really crazy with your participants that we wouldn't support. And then finally, we have a liability waiver that that we give to you to have participants sign. So there's sort of like 3 layers of protection. You do not need to get liability insurance. And in fact, those waivers have been adequate to facilities. So when people have had churches or schools and that kind of thing ask about liability questions, those 3 waivers and those 3 layers of protection have been adequate for those facilities as well. So in most cases, it's been no problem to hold meetings, at those facilities, but you do not need your own insurance. Let me know if that answered the question well enough, if you had other thoughts. And Renee, if you just asked something, I lost it. So let me know what it was. In terms of, I think it had to do with how strict we were about, kind of nutrition and meal plans and that kind of thing. Our goal and most of our meal plan is really based around whole foods, unprocessed foods. We make some certain recommendations, but are absolutely open to people modifying those. So for example, if our meal plans are gluten-free, and for the most part, I mean, there's some dairy in some of them. Most of them can be made dairy-free, but they are not vegetarian. So if you are vegetarian, you have to modify. But we basically believe that whole foods, that diet that includes animal proteins is going to be healthiest. And it's up to you and to your participants as to whether you follow that. But no, we're not telling people exactly what to eat and when to eat and all that. It's not that kind of a restrictive thing, nor do we advise during the nutrition section, the 2 weeks that we focus on nutrition, that you actually do spend a little time tracking your food, but we are not into calorie counting or points tallying or anything like that, because we find, again, that tends to be counterproductive in the long term, that people just can't live like that long term. So it's more about learning how to eat healthy. And so that's the foundation of our meal plan. Other thoughts and questions? All right, well, I'll watch the chat for a minute, see if anything comes through, but otherwise, again, I appreciate your time tonight and really look forward to working with some of you, I hope soon. And it's a great time to get groups going, by the way, with kids back in school. When we launched the program, we launched it in September and had just a phenomenal response. So I would, if you're thinking about it or on the fence, I definitely urge you not to wait too long. I will also say that we have not, that $30 discount, like I said, is tonight only. We have not ever put the leader program on sale except when we first started it to our beta group. So this is the first time we're doing that again. So definitely take advantage of that. And yes, have a great night. You're welcome, everybody. Look forward to working with you all soon. So take care and hope to talk to you soon. Bye.